I am going to show you how I come up with endless idea of what to post on my social. So coaches come to me because a lot of them don't know how to market their coaching business. And when I ask them, so what's your planning process or what's your content creation ideas and what do you talk about? The ideas is there, but it's all scattered. So this is a template that I created and you can get a copy of this by comment down below planner. I will send the link to you to grab a copy. It is $27. I created a whole marketing planner for coaches and basically contains this template. So this is an idea garden and you also have the idea dump and you can print them out or you can actually download it and use it on your electronic things like iPad or any tablet that you may have. So let me walk you through what these two templates are used for and how do you use them. So basically, you're probably sitting there and wondering what to post and what to write about all the time. And you spend 4 hours or 5 hours or whatever to come up with some idea and you write it in your journal or somewhere in your notebook and you forget that you was ever there in the first place. The way that I like to plan this is I know that there's clients I'm working with or conversation that was already going on, then I'm going to jot down and I love writing. So I usually have my pen and my notebook on the side. So I will write down notes and I would go back to my notes and I would look at what was the conversation about and how can I use that idea with my future content so that my idea can be shared and get to more people. So things like maybe it was a peer coach that you work with if you're just starting out, or maybe you are working with one or two or a couple of different clients. Then what I like to do is I like to pull from inspiration. I don't reveal which client conversation that came from, but I keep track of conversation that I have with clients because chances are this client had this question, your other clients might also have the same question. So here's an idea garden where you write down a question a client asked me this week. So maybe it was a question about which CRM program should I use? And that would be the question that I would write down in my planner. And when I go back to plan and plug into my marketing plan, then I can create and answer that question based on what the client had asked me or based on what I had shared with that particular client without revealing which client had asked me this question. And so same thing with the next question. A myth my people believe that I want to bust is so a couple of days ago I was on internet and I was having this conversation with other coaches where we're talking about whether or not you need social media in order to build a profitable coaching business. So maybe the myth is that this is funny. I'm talking to the anti-social media group people. The myth that I wanted to bust is that yes, you can start without social, but no, you need social media to have a profitable coaching business. And I actually have a piece of content that's coming out next week on this topic from this inspiration. So these are the things that I will write down. And these are just idea garden. You can jot down, maybe it's a hook, maybe it's a question, maybe it's a statement that you can write down. Something that I keep repeating on calls is that you are not disappointing me or letting me down. So somehow I keep having to repeat myself. A lot of clients and they're moving at their own pace. And this is something that I would encourage you if you're looking at one-on-one coaching. And this happened a lot in my one-on-one coaching because they're actually moving at a very fast pace. That's the benefit of working one-on-one because then you don't have to follow other group members' pace or their progress, and you're kind of moving at the same speed. But in a one-on-one setting, it's a lot more one-on-one personalized. So I'm working based on your pace and how fast you move. And a lot of time, these clients are moving a lot more faster than they had imagined. They're basically learning everything that I have done over the decade in my coaching business within 6 months of period. Now you're fitting all decades of work into 6 months. Of course, it feels I'm not moving fast enough. You have to understand who you're comparing yourself to. Are you comparing yourself to someone who have done a decade of work to build this up, or are you comparing yourself with someone who just started the coaching business, or even in the first 3 years of business? You have gone a lot further than compared to those who are just starting out. So I feel like a lot of clients, they feel, oh, I don't want to disappoint you. I don't want to let you down, thinking that I'm not doing stuff. I'm like, you're not letting anyone down. You're moving at the right speed at your comfort of your pace, and life is happening. Should things come up, it's not letting down. You're just taking time and space and giving yourself permission to build this business the way that you want it. I keep having to repeat myself. And I just want to remind everybody that you don't have to feel like you're running or you're in a competition or anything. You have to give yourself permission to build this around the lifestyle that you want. A small win. So here's another one, a small win worth sharing. So you get the idea. This is an idea garden. It's basically everywhere that you cultivate the idea that came up. So how often do I do this? I plan my content every week. So on the weekend, I would sit down and I would jot these down and I will pull these ideas from my notes and I would just have them on the piece of paper, and then I can bring them into my marketing planner so that I can map out, okay, these are the idea that I have. How can I plug them into my weekly content, in my monthly content? How do I want to do this? So on a side note, I actually am doing a live training on how to create the content that sells as a coach, because I feel it's very different for other marketers. And if you have a product service based business, then it's very different from compared to coaches. And a lot of coaches that I serve, you don't want to be perceived as salesy, or you don't want to be perceived as pushy. So how do you do that in your content, and how do you show up on social so that it doesn't feel like you're selling your heart out? So that's what I'm going to talk about on June 18th. So June 18th, it's a Thursday. Thursday at 11 a.m., I'm having a live training. If you like to attend, there's a link in my bio that you can go to and you can join me in this live training. And there's only one session. So come join me. And if you like to have a copy of this template, Idea Dump and also Idea Garden, just comment down below and I will share the link with you. I will drop a link where you can download. It is $27 because it's also include there's other, let me see if I have a copy readily available next to me that I can show you. I'm gonna pause the camera for real quick so I can go and pull it up to show you what it looks like. So here's the rest of the planner. It walks you through your dream client every month. There are prompts that you go through and answer every single month before you start planning. And there's a plenty of space that you can write, and you can print out multiple copy of this. There's also a description of how to use this planner. There are examples that I included on how you filled out the ideas, what are some of the idea bank, and I also gave you some prompts, some call to action at the end of your post, and just to give you some idea of how you want to invite your client, your potential client, to either to book a call with you or to download your lead magnet or whatever that you have created. And plus every month, this is what I like to do. Earlier I showed you these idea dump. So I will look at my month and figure out who's my ideal dream client for that month. What am I offering? And what's that one message I need to send to them? And what is that one invitation that I need to include? And I would map out every single week and give my month a big theme. So, for example, this month I am having a live training on the 18th. So I'm going to plug that into my calendar. And so each week I will plan based on the fact that I want majority of my audience to register and come to the event. So that's how I map out my 1 year, 1 month planning. And then there's also a roadmap that include in here in this planner, and you can map out your infinite possibility of what your business will look like. What do I really want? And so there's a space of possibility that you can map out. What does your monthly review? So after a month, you wanted to go back and what would you do again? And what would you change? What would you do differently? And what was the goal that you celebrated, and here's more idea dump pages for you that you can use. And I keep these because I like to write, I like to keep notes. So there's template in this planner that you can grab and you can download. So if you like, I'm going to leave a link in the description so that you can go and grab a copy of this. It's a monthly marketing map. All it takes is 90 minutes. It doesn't take me that long. So you saw how I wrote down all the things that I have for this week that I can talk about from my idea garden. And now I'm going to go back and plug it into my 1 week of content. So have fun planning. Until then, I will see you in the next video.